We had flashbacks. We got real emotional just now.
Embracing the now and the present moment, right? I think it's just acknowledging how much you already know and how much you already do, and giving yourself the permission to show up when you're not ready.
Yeah, and I think the real freedom isn't waiting for things to change around you, but it's like showing up and making the adjustments you need to in the moment to like rise to the occasion, because you can.
I don't know. Would we schedule our time to go out to eat?
No.
I don't think so.
This is Sistas Declassified, the podcast where
Taylor
and Taryn,
your virtual sisters, share experiences, insights, and of course the juicy secrets that never leave the sister circle.
So shh, listen up. The Declassified convos are starting now. Welcome back to Sistas Declassified. We're the real life sisters who decided to start a podcast instead of just thinking about it.
But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe for your weekly dose of declassified moments.
Today, we're going to get into some declassified gospel, because I just feel like as a recovering perfectionist, this is a good topic for us to discuss.
Which is?
Stop waiting for perfect. Your next level is waiting for you to show up as you are. And your next level could be anything. Could be a promotion, could be a lifestyle change you want to make. Like, I think about how I see people doing like their 17-step skincare routine. I'm like, that could never be me. It could be.
You just need to start with a
literally just haven't tried.
routine.
Right. I literally just haven't tried to have anything other than a wash and a moisturizer, which, you know, is actually fine with me. I think I'm doing all right. But you get the point.
Mm-hmm.
Your next level doesn't necessarily have like a specific category it's tied to, but it's really anything that you could see for yourself that you don't feel like you are ready for yet.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just here to tell you, go ahead and go for it. Right?
Yeah, stop thinking about it. Right? Like our podcast. We didn't think about it. We just did it. We thought about it a little bit.
We thought about it. We planned for it.
But we didn't think hard to where like it kept us from doing it.
Exactly. And so today we want to talk a little bit about the obstacles that might be blocking you from your next level,
Mm-hmm.
and what you could do to get there as you are right now.
Yeah. Because I feel like there's a big myth that you have to have all of these things in order to move to the next thing. Like for me, right, my next big level in relationship wise is to get married. And we have all of these things that we're like, we need to be doing before we are ready. And I talk to people and they're like, you don't need those things. Like, that is obviously we feel like we need those things, and that's what we've decided for ourselves, what feels comfortable to us. But it's a myth, right? Like, it's not a fact that you need to be able to buy a house. You need to be fully established in your career. You need to have X, Y, and Z in your savings account before you get married. Now, those are helpful,
right? There's some practical, helpful things involved,
right?
There,
and so we are aligned and agree that those are things we want to have before we get married. But it's also like, you don't have to do that. There are people who get married at 21. They don't have any money. Right? They don't know what their career is going to be. They don't have a house, but they know they love each other, and so they're ready for that next big step. And I think, first of all, for us is just understanding what ready looks like for you,
and knowing that, shoot, you might not even feel like you're ready, but that doesn't mean you can't take on the challenge of the next level to grow in there.
Right.
When I think about the next level, I think about the job that I have currently. And I actually initially was not going to apply for it.
Mm-hmm.
One, because it was a little bit of fear holding me back. Like, what would happen if I applied and didn't get it? I would feel bad because it was an internal position. But two, I also felt like, I don't know if I have the skill set. I don't know if I'm ready to take on this next level big girl job. And it took some encouragement from other people at work and in my personal life to encourage me to try, and then to find out that I can do the job and I'm killing it, you know? And it just required me to show up as I was already. It didn't require any extra training, anything really.
Yeah.
It just took me believing that I should be there, and then putting in the work once getting there. And so far, it's definitely been a lot of lessons learned, a lot of stressful nights. Shoot, just the other night I was working till 9:30 on a Friday, trying to get something done. But I say all that to say, all I had to do was show up as I was, which showed me that I was much more prepared for this next level than I thought I was.
Right. Or that you can get prepared in real time. Because I feel like for me, you just reminded me of, I had applied been about 8 years now. I had applied to be a para.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can't count. How many years? Maybe 6 years. A para is like an assistant aide in the classroom. And when I put in my resume and stuff, they were like, para?
Girl, you should be teaching
You're
the
the teacher of
class.
this class. You need to teach this class. Like everything about you, it was a special education class, was like, you need to teach this class. And so I didn't feel ready for that at all. And I wasn't ready because I didn't have a credential for teaching. I just had a lot of experience with kids and with kids with special needs. And so I had to prepare in real time. And it worked out. It was stressful. And so I feel like that's the part that maybe people are afraid of, is the stress of it all. And it really was very stressful. But I think it made me feel like I can do hard things. And I can overcome a challenge when it's stressful, and I can continue to learn and be good at what I'm doing still. Because that was the thing that I was worried about, is showing up and not being good at the job, or biting off more than I could chew. And in some ways I would say I kind of did, because I was also in grad school at the same time.
Yeah, girl, you was
so
doing a
it
lot.
was very overwhelming.
You were doing a lot.
If I would have told myself this is too overwhelming, I would have never did it. And
you wouldn't know if you didn't try.
And I think people were telling me too that that's a lot at the time. Like it was like, oh, school, you're teaching special education, and you have an internship. Like it was a lot at once.
Wasn't this in COVID?
Yes, it started in half COVID, half not. So it was a lot going on at one time, but it didn't stop me from doing what I needed to do, because I didn't sit and think about it too hard.
Yeah, you've always been a very ambitious person, though. So once you've decided you're going to do something, you are good at putting your mindset to it and committing to it. And I think that's
your mindset matching your ambition.
Yeah, it is necessary in order for you to reach that next level. So not only do you need to recognize that you can grow in it right then and there, but you also have to be a little bit ambitious, because there are going to be things for you to have to grow through. And this got me thinking about myself a little bit, and some of the ambitions I have that I've kind of like halfway stepped into. Just a few weeks ago, I was working an event for our cousin, Chanel Alita Presents. If you need an event planned, holler at her. She's your girl. But I was doing content for her Pan-African Dance Conference. And it's funny because like it was a paid opportunity, right? And oftentimes people will ask me like, oh, this is what you do? Like this is like your side hustle or whatever. And I'm like, no, I don't do this. I just do this when my mom or my cousin or somebody close to me asks me to make content for them. But like, girl, you're doing a job. You're getting paid to do it. You deliver on the things. You're doing it. And so I've for a while I've been kind of like half in, half out, straddling. Do I have a business? Do I not? And the answer is in action, I do. There are a few things I could set up to like make it more official, although I don't want the government in my business. There are a few things I could do to make it more official, but like part of the shift that needs to happen for me to get to the next level is actually treating it like a business, like actually setting up the business page and account, actually looking to do the work outside of just family and friends, and not being afraid to take on the work. Because I think something that holds me back is like, well, dang, every weekend's going to be taken up by somebody's event. Says who? Right. Like if this is your business, I could be in charge of it. I could decide to do one event a month.
You also have a real job that actually pays for your life, and it's not
right. It's like not life or death. So it's not like I have to dive into this business to sustain myself. If this is something I enjoy doing, which for the most part I do, then I can choose the cadence at which I do it. I could do it once a month, once a quarter, heck, right? But I could get more things in order on the back end, treating it like a business to match kind of the vision I have in my head, without being afraid of the workload that I think may come if I make it official.
Right. Like you're already shutting the door before you even get there, finding all the reasons you're going to not like it.
Right. Instead of recognizing that there are many things that I do like, and I, as business owner, could choose what parts I do and what parts I don't. And Now, obviously, you want to match the market, right? If I can't find clients who meet me at the level of work I want to do, then you might want to rethink the business idea. But in general, I think I could find a monthly event, and it doesn't have to be all day
Right.
to make some content for and
Somebody
make a
wants it
quick
for,
buck.
right. Somebody wants pictures at their event somewhere.
And I've reached a skill level that I'm probably able to do more than you are able to do as the person running the event. That's why you're trying to hire somebody to do it. But I'm also not going to be so far out your price point because I'm good, but I'm not that good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel like we live in a world that has really driven humble. Like, be humble, 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 to the point where people don't recognize what they're good at.
Yeah. Guilty.
Oh, I was like, what? But
I'm guilty.
You're guilty. Yes. I was like, I say that because when I think about what I know that I do well, it's very hard to stand in that and say like, yes, I do this thing really well and I can apply for a new role because of it, or I can write a book because of it, or I can.
You've been talking about that book for a little while, girl.
Or I can, I don't know, something outside of myself. I can share this art or host an event or whatever thing that you're interested in. Maybe you're a chef, maybe you cook, maybe you make clothes. There's all these things that we do that we're qualified to do that we've worked on for our whole lives. And I rarely hear people say like, I am just good at this.
Yeah, that's
sit back. True. This is my niche. This is my expertise.
Yeah, and I feel like some of that has to do with the way that we're like ingrained. It's like partially society, partially the way that we're ingrained in school, and that we feel like school and going to a particular class or course or getting a degree is like the only way that you can become an expert in things. When the truth is, we have the internet. You can go to YouTube University. You can put in the hours yourself, like, because doing the thing, trial and error, is also a great way to learn.
It's really the main way to learn.
Right.
I could read all the books I want about being a therapist, but I wasn't good at it until I started being a therapist.
Right, right. And so I think we sometimes downplay I think there's like the quote, 10,000 hours you put into something that actually do make you an expert, versus like somebody else having to tell you, or somebody giving you a piece of paper that says you're good enough or you've done enough.
Because usually that paper does not actually instill the confidence.
Yeah, no. Well, I don't know. I'm only a 1 degree shorty, unlike you. But
well, even with your psychology degree, do you feel like you could go out and be somebody's psychologist right now?
No. Well, I feel like there are parts I could do, and I would need more education to feel confident in doing it correctly. But education, I don't necessarily mean like I need to go to school for. I mean, I need to experience, become more aware of like where my gaps would be in being able to provide service and like learn from that. But you're right. Experiential learning is something we downplay a lot.
And we don't, it makes it hard for us to be confident in our knowledge, in our skills. And I think that is something that impacts us being able to go to the next level.
Totally.
Because we're like, oh, we didn't check off, I don't know, what's the guy? Uncle Sam's boxes, so that we could feel good about the things that we know and do. Or even outside of like government, right? We also have norms based on our identities. So like as a Black person, do I feel Black enough? Do I match the stereotype of a Black person enough to put myself in this space?
I used to feel that way often as a suburban Black girl.
I know you were talking about, what were you saying last? Tequila.
As a suburban Black girl, I used to feel that way quite often. I would say I felt that way actually until I went to college. And then I was like, oh no, I'm Black.
And see, I had the opposite experience. I felt Black until I got to college.
Interesting.
When white people was telling me I was whitewashed, I'm like, I'm just being nice to you.
Interesting.
You've lost your mind. How am I whitewashed for being nice to you? And because I'm not screaming over there. Because there was a few girls in college with me who represented the stereotypical Black girl. And I wasn't like them. But I wasn't like them.
Right, right.
So I'm just like, where are you getting that? It's
Yeah.
because I'm not out there screaming half naked that you think?
I that reminds me
I
of my
had never
college
gotten
recruiting
that
trip
before.
where somebody was like, "You're not like them," and I said, "What makes me not like them?" And their tune changed real fast because I guess they thought they knew who I was, and then
Just because I could talk to you?
saw the black in me, I guess, or saw the attitude, the flash that I could give you real quick that I guess they associated with the them, and they were like, "Oh, I guess you are. Oh, I guess I am."
Yeah. So,
Come correct.
anyways, that was a little tangent, but I had to go to the next level with them. So, they needed to understand that they don't know nothing. But anyway,
we had flashbacks. We got real emotional just now.
Embracing the now and the present moment, right? I think is just acknowledging how much you already know and how much you already do, and giving yourself the permission, I guess, the permission to show up when you're not ready.
Yeah, and I think the real freedom isn't waiting for things to change around you, but it's like showing up and making the adjustments you need to in the moment to like rise to the occasion because you can.
Right, because I feel like once you make that misstep, it's not a signal that you should stop. It's a signal that you need to learn something in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like that's the part that maybe sometimes is hard, being able to say like, okay, I actually, like for me when I was teaching at that job, math is not my strong suit. And I was teaching 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So I had to sit and watch math videos for 8th graders
so that you could teach it.
So I could teach it. But I was not equipped. And that, listen, you can maybe guess what district I was working in based on if you know the Bay Area. But really, what I'm trying to say is that I just had to sit down and learn. And I didn't decide that that was something that meant I was not prepared or ill equipped, but that it was an area where I needed to learn if I wanted to be good at what I was doing. Anywho,
math. Gotta love it. Okay, so I think we could wrap up today just by giving some practical tips for like how you can combat some of this perfectionism. And I think you had some tips for us today.
Oh, I guess I do.
Because I'm still working in this. Not that you're perfect, but I think you are further along in your anti-perfectionism journey than me.
I guess in getting into the practical tips, I'm just thinking about like how you can start to reframe or restructure your routine so that you can do the things that would take you to the next level. Like, so could you ingrain 20 minutes a day of learning something new or learning something towards your goal? Or maybe like how I started this episode with relationships, wanting to feel prepared for a wedding. Mm-hmm. Like maybe it's that I need to carve out once a month time where we talk about our direction and our goals. Like, mm-hmm. Are we continuing to move forward towards the things that will make us feel ready? Right? Because maybe we're not ready in that moment, and that's okay. But what are you doing to make yourself ready then?
Yeah, and I think to that point, it could also just be by starting to say yes to certain things. Mm-hmm. So like back to the business example, I don't necessarily feel like I have a business, but I can find more opportunities to say yes to people who ask for my consultancy or ask for me to help them create content, mm-hmm. instead of shying away or redirecting them to other people.
Right. And I mean, same with this podcast. People are like, oh, you have a Brandon is telling people, oh yeah, Taylor has a podcast. I'm like, yeah.
Like, I guess I do. I want you to watch, but don't watch. Don't perceive me.
Please don't work. I'm here,
but we do have a podcast.
Right. And so I need to, that's my little reframe that I have to start doing, is saying, yes, I do.
Yes. I love that for you. Yes.
I don't know if that'll be the tip I'm starting with, but yeah. So I think that's the kind of the first area, is just recognizing what you can do. What is the small little change that's going to help move you towards your goal? Because sometimes the next level, I can admit, we're not always ready for, mm-hmm, but mm-hmm. we can start to make the little steps to get us ready. I think the next thing is just creating the vision, because sometimes what's holding us back is just that we don't even know what we want.
Like, we're unclear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're mm-hmm. very unclear. So I know people are always talking about sit down, visualize it for yourself, write it all down, then close your eyes and visualize what you want. I know it sounds very silly and corny, But we often feel like we're not at the place we want to be because we haven't defined it yet.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Like, even with the kids that I work with today are like, I want to be a confident and disciplined adult. What does that mean? Right. They can't ever tell me.
Like what habits make a confident, what did you say?
Disciplined adult.
What habits make a confident, disciplined adult? You just heard them words and they sounded good, but what do they mean
what
to
does
you?
It mean? Because you're feeling like you missed the mark because you don't even know what the mark is.
Mm-hmm. And then that means that the goalpost is always moving, which of course makes you feel bad, which of course makes you feel like you're not getting there because you haven't said it's boom, boom, and boom.
Mm-hmm. So you might have leveled up 10 times, but because you don't even know what the vision was or what the levels were, you missed it.
Mm-hmm. Very real.
And so I think that's the hard part too. And so once you have that clear vision, it really makes you feel like you're moving in alignment. And if you're not, it also tells you why.
Yep.
Like, what are the things you're not doing that were in the vision that you created? I think the last tip is just focusing on what you do have. And so not comparing what you don't have and starting with, what you do have. Sorry, I forgot what I was trying to say. I think the last thing is just that you have to tap into the present moment. So not thinking about what you don't have, but the things that you do have to be successful in the area that you would like to level up. So I know you were talking about career. Mm-hmm. What is something that you are being present with that would help you in that?
So I talked about making the leap from my last role to my current role. I think I've been with my company for 10 years. There's a lot of stuff I know ins and outs of like how things work on the ground that somebody new wouldn't know because they ain't been here. They ain't been in the trenches. They ain't been seeing all the things I've been seeing. Mm-hmm. So one of the things I knew I came in with was an intimate knowledge of the ins and outs and where the gaps were that were most immediate. Mm-hmm. And so that allowed me to have a starting point, knowing there's all these other things I don't know and that I'll have to learn in this role. Is fine. But I also knew I could start right here, right now and make an impact. And
they're going to have to come in and learn the company for the next 3 months.
So I can 3 months, 6 months, year.
No, for
sure.
So
I could make an impact on these immediate areas now because I have been here to see them and know the importance of them. And then, like you said, have the vision for what I would like to grow into being in this role. And then also, making some changes or learning, right? In the small term, what am I trying to say?
Short term?
In the short term, thank you. I could also then have a plan for my short term learning for the areas I don't have. So instead of like being super focused on the fact that I don't know nothing about Cal OSHA.
I don't know what that is.
Right.
Yeah, continue.
No, and I don't know nothing about Cal OSHA. I did sign up for a Cal OSHA class that I need to start taking because it'll expire soon. But I signed up for a class so I could give me some education in the areas I don't know when it comes to safety and operations, right? But what I do know is program, and I do know we was missing boom, boom, and boom. So that's what I started on.
Yeah. So being present with what you can do, I think is the biggest part. And not thinking everything is going to be done right away. Like you're going to...
Absolutely not.
You're going to be the expert at everything as soon as you start it.
Now, would that be
going to be
lovely?
Ready for it. I know. It would be so amazing.
Would that be lovely to be... I don't want to be a know-it-all, but I want to know a lot.
I feel that. But yeah, I think those are kind of just the practical tips that I was thinking of. So having your vision, not comparing, tapping into the present. What do you have right now to get to your next level? And also just reframing your routine and the things that you're doing if you don't feel prepared.
Yeah, those feel very like actionable. Like those feel like things that you could do today. Like you could set a plan for today, I should say, right? You could probably take something that you're thinking about leveling up in and map out 1 or 2 things in each of those areas, like right now.
And we have multiple areas of life. Since I wonder if that's something we can maybe touch on in a different episode is that like all the intersectionalities, because you could be trying to level up financially in your relationship with your friendships.
And it could feel like a lot to do at once.
Right. And so which area of your life are you focused on leveling up? And I think sometimes maybe we don't notice that we are leveling up because we're only looking at one area.
Very true. I just ordered a book by entrepreneur Morgan DeBon. I don't know if you heard of her. You know what Blavity is?
Yeah.
She's the CEO founder of Blavity. she's like, she's inspirational to me. I very much like most of the things she has to say. She has a podcast as well. I haven't started reading her book yet, but she's given us excerpts over the last few months. It's called Rewrite Your Rules. And the tenets of it are basically like what you were talking about, in terms of we have all these things in our lives we could be focusing on, pulling us in multiple different directions. And there's so many things we feel like we have to do, but we can rewrite our rules and in whatever season, shift our focus to make our priorities whatever we'd like them to be. And she's like, you can really only focus on 3 things. So like if it's family, fitness, and I don't know, hobbies, then, or hobbies and fitness can kind of be intertwined, but you get me.
Let's say they're different.
Right. So family, fitness, and hobbies, like those are the 3 things. So you make a plan for those 3 things for the season that it will serve you. And then it may shift because maybe you need to focus on your career because you have a promotion you'd like to receive or something you want to level up in your education, what have you. But I want to finish the book so we can talk about it more, but you just got me thinking about that. Because you're totally right. You can't do it all at once. And if you're trying to do it all at once and focus on it all at once and leveling up, you're going to be stressed.
But also feeling like you're not doing anything. So
that's what I mean by stress.
Right. But also you could be stressed because you're trying to do it all. Right. Sure. And so then you actually you're not able to level up because you can't split your mind. And that's something I'm working on right now because I failed to recognize we show up for this podcast every 2 weeks to film, and also we edit and post it.
We a whole production team.
But I don't see that as like
you having a podcast.
Well, yes, I already said that, but just also that it's like a level that I'm on, that I'm trying to improve on and level up in, because it's not my career, right? It's I guess it's a hobby, but see, I don't even know what it is. What's the vision? So maybe that's what makes it hard. So there might be little things you do on the side that you're like, I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it every time. So there's a level I'm on and I might want to level it up, but if you're not confident in that you're doing it,
right,
it makes it hard to improve.
Sounds like we need to have a meeting.
But anyways, I think we've talked enough. I think our whole point today is just in focusing on not selling yourself short. There's probably times that you have leveled up and you didn't notice it, but also if you're holding yourself back from leveling up, why? What is it? And can you use one of these little steps to help you move yourself forward? In our Sister Circle question for today, do you want to take it away?
Sure. What's one area in your life that you're waiting for to become quote unquote perfect? Right? Because as we know, there ain't no perfect moment out here. But what can you do in your day-to-day to feel more aligned with the next level you're trying to be on?
And prove to yourself that you probably leveled up more than you think. So take a moment to reflect, and that's kind of all we have to say today. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.